Hello, Soul Tigress here with some positive messages for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius community. Now, as always, this is a safe and sacred space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. So for everyone who's been with me for a while, thank you so much for hanging out. You're going to notice some changes coming about with how I'm laying out the videos. So what we're going to go ahead and do is get started with the introduction. So in the vibe, I am picking up mysterious levels of depth, unsure how to explore each level. So also this kind of feeds into feeling like somebody is not good enough. Excuse me, I don't have my light on. Here we go. So this came out in reverse. Feeling like somebody is not good enough. I'll show you this one again too. Stuck. And this person, what I see when I kind of look into the view of things, is a person feels like they're stuck, like walking in a very narrow canyon. And this canyon, it has like really high walls, making somebody feel like they're trapped, they can't move. There's no other way to go about and do things. So contemplating. If you have the right to make certain changes. These changes are really big changes that are life impacting changes. And there are times where we have a really hard time taking the leadership in things. Being able to forge our direction with the ways that we need to go. And sometimes when we do that, what we do is we break generational curses. We banish things. We banish or we overcome cycles. Cycles that we have learned. Cycles that we are repeating. So a lot of times when we're not able to express ourselves in a creative way, and this could be just simply singing in the vehicle. This could be doing puzzle. This could be painting. This could be playing an instrument. This could be just sitting out in nature and just kind of listening to things. You know, getting ideas for something that you want to start up. Being able to use your creative side, that exploration side, the imaginary side, can help you cast away things. Let go of things that you've been hanging on to, that's been like a double-edged blade, you know, injuring you the more you try and hold on to it. And a lot of times the things that we really try and hold on to, that's just not meant to stay with us forever, definitely makes us feel like we are without. And it's hard to find happiness. But you're going through this lesson right here, right now, to help create some equilibrium in your life. And this equilibrium is definitely coming in through your emotions, through your feelings type of thing. And right here, this is really making sense because the full moon is coming in on the 7th of September, which is the Piscean moon. Piscean is all about the 12th house energy, ending an old cycle and preparing for a new one. This is the North Node energy that we need to go for. Don't forget that Pisces is also represented by Neptune. This is mysticism and mystical love, also a transcendence type of energy, the inner guidance that each of us have within. Because remember, we all have a seed of the divine. And the name of the game with this channel, what this channel focuses on, is that self-empowerment, getting closer to that seed, which helps align us with that higher power. So this lesson here is having you come out of old habits that you thought were good for you, things that you grew up thinking that were okay because the adults around you were doing it. And it's going to end these old cycles, the things that you feel in your heart that isn't right type of energy. And we're finding that here just in the introduction and with the vibe. So let's go ahead and move on into the present and get a little bit more of an in-depth view, air signs, on what is happening here. With the snakes here, there's 2 snakes. So this tells me that this is also Scorpio energy, because snake does represent Scorpio. So this is a transformation as well through relationships. This is actually dealing with people around you. This isn't just like a one-time thing, you know, a co-worker that you only know for a bit. This is like people that you've known for a while. So what is it? What is it, ancestors, angels, that need to come out for the present? So first 2 things that are coming out is we definitely have a 2 of Wands. Right here in reverse, really feeling like we're unsure, again, coming under that leadership, how to look at things, maybe how to deal with others, how to deal with the conflict from others when we try and challenge them, when we try and what I mean by challenge them, you can challenge people by just putting a boundary up, saying, no, I'm not going to do this, no, I don't have time for this, no, I'm not going to deal with this, and people will really get offended. So what we're not seeing is definitely a tarot needs to happen in order to really register what's going on. What is going on? What is the Kool-Aid that everyone seems to want you to drink out of too? If you don't drink their Kool-Aid, then they're upset with you. So what is it? What is these mind games that this community is playing with you? And then also I have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So whoever, whatever this person, place, and or thing is, they definitely try and put you in your head about things. This is something where you could have low confidence in speaking up. And I'm really feeling my throat chakra here being highlighted. Throat chakra, when it's balanced, it's expression, it's creativity, it's clear communication. It's also confidence in speaking. But when it's out of balance, it's fear of speaking, it's shyness, it's social anxiety. So right now, these people, this person, this place, or this thing capitalizes on triggering that. They want to shut down your throat chakra. They don't want you to have this confidence, because that means that you're getting these ideas that go against what they want you to do, type of thing. So something else we're not seeing is a King of Wands. Oh, are you stuck? You're stuck between a couple of people. Queen of Pentacles that I do see here. Then we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. And then what else are we seeing here? 9 of Pentacles in confused position. So I have an air sign here who feels like they're caught between a hard place and a rock. They definitely, what I'm feeling is there's this commitment. There is this commitment. People really like to get hard on air signs because we can disassociate from them. We can disconnect from them. We can just take ourselves up and out of a situation and go without looking back. And air signs are looked at to be kind of heartless for this. But the thing is a lot of people don't understand is that air sign was basically telling you stuff the whole way. You just chose not to listen. And then finally the air sign got fed up. The air sign is done and they're gone. They're not going to sit here and beg you to grow up. They're not going to beg you to realize. They're not going to beg you to value them. And that is something that is happening here with this air sign, is that we're running into this big dilemma. How do I see things from a new point of view? How do I see things from a stable point of view? Because we've been doing something. We've been healing. We've been trying to do things better. We've been trying to come full circle with ourselves. And a lot of times that means that you have to take a fresh view on things. And right here, you want to have this fresh view with stability, feeling grounded in your environment and the very uniqueness of you in your environment. And with this Queen of Pentacles here, one of the biggest jobs for the air sign is basically trying to save everybody, trying to prevent things from happening, trying to be ahead of the problems here. And that's something that people really love, businesses love, but they won't admit that to you. They won't admit it because they rather string you along and make you feel a type of way, so you keep showing up and giving all that energy more and more and more and more and more and more. And this is what I'm feeling like is happening, is they're really capitalizing on a certain kind of currency from you. And this currency is that side of kindness, that side of compassion, the side of acceptance. You always being so cool with things and letting things be like a water on a duck's back, just rolling off of you. While these individuals, person, places, and or things are just, they're not very good. They're POSs. If you know what that is, good for you. That's what I can say here, because they're in the reverse. So this tells me that you got two individuals who are a really good match for each other, but they're a toxic match. Somehow this is very toxic here. So what they do is, well, they'll kind of feed off of each other in how that they treat you type of thing, how they make you feel, how you got one on one side playing you and you got the other one on the other side playing you. That's what they're doing. They're hitting you both from the masculine and they're hitting you both from the feminine. They're hitting you from, you know, trying to influence your dreams, where you want to develop, you know, the different goals you have in life, but they're also capitalizing on your compassion, your loyalty and stuff like that. And you will have people do that. I've had a business tell me that I'm not going to find another job because I wanted to head off into a different spectrum of my career, or the career field that I was working in. So, I mean, this does happen with businesses. This will happen with families. So you got to be careful. The Hierophant. So something here about traditions. Traditions that I feel like they don't want you to break. They don't want you to break, and they don't want the particular air sign in this story to know that they have an option to put themselves back together after what I see is these vultures have been pecking at you to keep you here. That you have an option to put yourself together, and you have an option to go. This is all that leadership. This is all a part of banishing a curse. You feeling like, not only feeling like that, but knowing whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're dreaming about, that you can do it. It may not be the total, like down to the T way that you want it, but it can happen. And it's giving yourself that permission, especially getting out of under these two, whoever these two are. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the angels of protection. Angels of protection, please help guide us as we navigate the block here right away. So something that's going on with your block has to do with the Knight of Cups and this Empress in reverse. So the thing is, you're always trying to save people from their own demises, from their own undoing. Like I said, air signs, we can see stuff before it happens. We can recognize the behaviors of what certain things will get certain individuals. And the thing is you are very compassionate. You know, you like to try and help these people. You like to try and guide these people. But at the same time, whoever these people are really struggle with love. They really struggle with loving themselves. They really struggle with loving their environment. And this is why they operate the way that they operate. What else needs to come out for the block? All right. So, Page of Wands. Yeah. Whoever the one is that capitalizes on being a harder ass, I want to say the bad cop, because you have the good cop, you have the bad cop, but they're both assholes. So the one who capitalizes on being the bad cop, this is one that is really irrational. They're irrational, and they definitely like to tell you about yourself. What this person is doing is they're attacking your stability through your emotions. They know if they can get an emotional reaction, they could kind of like bump off your stability, and then there goes your anxieties for the day. So this one knows how to play you like a fiddle, I would say. So please be careful of that. We need to be more vigilant, and we need to be more set in our ways when it comes to putting these boundaries up with these others, and not being confused. Not being confused. You have built yourself up to this point right now. You are allowed to teach people how to treat you. This doesn't matter if you're in your teens, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, and so forth. You do have a right as an individual to have boundaries. And no matter the reason of those boundaries, those are personal. That's a part of your stability. So anybody can question them all they want, that's fine. But if they can't respect them, then it's up to you to enforce them. Just remember that, because the more you let them walk all over you, the more they're going to keep putting you as their doormat. So be careful of that. Then I have this 8 of Wands. So then the good cop likes to come in, and what does this good cop like to do? This good cop also likes to put you in a stuck position as well. What it is they could be trying to put everything back on you. Well, if you didn't do this, you didn't do that, this wouldn't have happened. This person wouldn't be upset with you. That's a load of bullshit. What you got here is 2 narcissists. This is just a quick outside looking view. But if somebody is saying that you have to own their feelings, that you're responsible for another person's feelings, that's some narcissist shit. There are many a times when I get upset personally. I grew up in a narcissistic household, and I had to untrain my mind from thinking that I had to take ownership of other people's feelings. So now when I raise my kids and I get upset, I let them know I have ownership of my feelings. It's not you guys to take ownership of my feelings, but it's my job. And it's just because I want to make sure that I change things for them so that when they're growing up, they don't just view things certain way. So where I'm getting with that is just understand that they may be playing these mind games with you. They may be trying to act like they know the best, because they could be a little bit older than you, whoever these people are. But all they're doing is they're trying to put you in a position to where you never can really validate how you feel. You always have to sit here and worry about how somebody else feels, in a sense. And that's a part of, again, what's hanging you up, because you're always trying to figure out how you can make it better, what you can do to change things so this one doesn't get upset. Again, no, that's not your job. That's on them. They have to figure out what's upsetting them, and they have to go in and do the work. Ooh, I don't like these people too much. I don't like them. But this challenge is here again because you have this full moon. You have the full moon that's there to help you face ending old cycles. And then with that new moon in Virgo, it's all about learning how to take care of yourself in different ways. You've taken care of yourself with what you've learned, what you healed from up until this point. Now there's some ideas, there's some ways that you want to go, there's some ways that you want to be treated. So now things are going to be tested. And you're going to be put in a position that's going to make you exercise everything that you've been working for. Alright, so divine and universal energy. What are the positive messages that need to come out? So I just bumped the Hierophant right now. And so what I need to share is sometimes when it's taking care of ourselves, we have to break old traditions that at one time we thought was right. The great thing about the day and age that we live in is we are more emotionally evolved. We are letting men express themselves in ways that was not, how do I put that? We're letting men express themselves more freely when it comes to their emotions, instead of just looking at them like they have to be this brick wall, never expressing anything. You know, women are breaking the stigmas and have been breaking the stigmas of always having to be in the house barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen type of thing. We have been steadily breaking traditions as our species evolve. So for ourselves, even personally, as we evolve spiritually, we're going to have to break old traditions that we once thought was the thing to do. Alright, so just know, first message is this is going to be slow and steady. You're going to have to heal what needs to be unwound, cleansing out, bringing acceptance, mercy, and compassion to those wounds, to the things that keeps you tied to these situations here, people, places that treat you like this. Something that we need to confront, something we need to open up to is the anger, the irritation, the resentment that is building up here. I feel like when you get stung by one of these guys, I was reading in some stuff on Google that it's the divine telling you to take action. It's time to take action. And if you don't get the heck up out of Dodge when these things are coming at you, then you're out of luck. So definitely there's some action that needs to happen. That 12th house energy, putting an end to an old cycle. And then we also have healing energy. Not being confused on that your kindness isn't a weakness. Just because you've had people run amok using your kindness against you doesn't mean that you're weak. You're hitting a point where you're getting sick and tired of the bull. And so you're ready to move forward. You're also hitting a point in life where you're honoring yourself. You're starting to see how much work you have done to get up into this point. You're forgiving yourself of the mistakes. And you're starting to fill out that you have a right to ask people to treat you good. That's okay. That is a part of healing, and that is a part of evolving. And just know, not everybody can evolve with you. Some people, like these two right here, they're going to want to stay where they're at. They're not going to care. They're not going to understand. And right here, that's because this new beginning's not for them. They're not ready to cleanse out. They're not ready to take a journey where they open up to the divine flow of things. A lot of people get really, really upset, and they like to point the finger back at the divine when there's big traumatic things that happen in their life and say, well, I don't understand why they would let this happen. Why would the divine say that this was okay? The whole thing is, how do you learn forgiveness if you have nothing to forgive. When I heard that from a Native American elder, my jaw hit the floor. There are lessons in a lot of things, and a lot of it is meant for us to banish curses, break cycles of things that have been happening for generations upon generations and upon generations. But it takes the courage to have the leadership to cast away the negativity and open up to new beginnings. We sometimes have to give ourselves that permission. I was in a toxic workplace a few months ago, and I really wanted it to work here or there. I really did. It was the convenience of the commute, just the convenience of where it was at. I was making decent money, but the workplace was toxic. And they kept telling me about myself, and they kept telling me about myself. And little did they know that I've had other opportunities with other companies in like different levels of work that I could do. And they didn't know that I had went and checked out another place before I settled on getting hired with them. And I finally got pushed to a point that I just couldn't do it anymore, and I needed to have a new day. I needed to let this go. I needed to let the sun set on that situation and let the sun rise on something different. And I let it go, and this toxic environment looked at me the whole time as if I was the problem. But you know what? You know what's crazy? Is in a lot of the other places that I worked, I was never the problem like that. A lot of people commend how I show up to work, how I'm always willing to help. And even at this new place that I'm at, they love having me there. And this one lady had even wrote the most beautifulest message that brought me to tears because she appreciates me so much. So I say that and take this detour, because you will have toxic people, toxic places that will play on you. They will play on you. They'll see your insecurities, and they will do things to manipulate your emotions, to make you feel like you don't have much. You're not showing up with much. You have to be careful. I always say take a step back and really analyze how they're making you feel. If they're making you feel less, then you need to figure out if this is really worth it here. And a lot of times, this is why this is all for entertainment purposes though, but a lot of times, if they make you feel like shit, it's not worth it. It's not going to get better. Things aren't going to change. It's just the way the energy runs there. And some people, some places love that type of misery. I don't want to keep nobody's misery company. What is the last card for the air signs? Last card for the air signs. Woo! Don't get it twisted. This comes out in reverse. I feel like the struggle is what you make of it. The struggle is what you make of it, because this comes out in reverse. I really feel like if you keep dreaming the dreams that you're dreaming, if you keep moving towards it, disregarding the good cop, the bad cop thing, and you start putting in the work, start doing what you need to do to get you out of this, then you're going to have what you're looking for. You're going to have that happiness. You're going to be able to find that equilibrium. But it always comes at taking the leadership on things. Don't expect people to change. Don't expect places to change. It's you that has to create the change. Alrighty, air signs. This is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.